Make sure you don't miss any episodes. Like, follow, or subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Or go to colintoast.com and click on Coffee and Cream with Colin. Speaking of which, on today's Coffee and Cream with Colin, this episode smells good, but it's not very satisfying.
In this episode, I plan to explore perhaps one of the most sensitive and controversial food topics possible. Now, before I go any further, I want to prepare you. Many of you, if not most of you, may find this episode to be somewhat offensive. I will apologize for that in advance, but I can make no apology for my heartfelt and strong opinion on this matter. Now, let's talk about soup. I understand and appreciate that many of you look at soup as a comfort food, something that's easy to ingest, that can warm you up on a cold day, not to mention the way it may smell, all those varieties of soup. But it is in that very variety that my issue with soup lies. As I mentioned in the first episode of this food series, I come from a family of 7. While we never went hungry, we were by no means wealthy, so my parents had to be creative when it came to keeping us all fed. As a result, whatever was not consumed at supper one night was often reinvented as soup the next day. So, the next night the smells associated with supper were often the same or very similar to the aromas of the previous night's meal. If it had been a meal that was enjoyed, then the smell was very appealing. If the meal had not been enjoyed, then the smell was a terrible taunt. Aroma aside, here's the real problem I have with soup. It's just a regular meal that's been watered down. Everything in the meal has now been boiled so that it's soft and mushy. There's a reason that soup is often served to people who are sick. Very little effort is required to eat it. Regular meals have separate ingredients that we place in separate places on our plates so that we can enjoy them in different combinations, each mouthful. Or so we can eat the least palatable items first and save our favorite food for the end, so that we're left with a good taste in our mouths at the end of a meal. With soup, that's not exactly possible anymore. Everything is all jumbled together. The flavors have intermingled, and you can't control the quantity that you receive of any particular item in the soup. Soup is just food chaos, food anarchy. As politely as I can put this, I don't want any soup, please. In the next episode, we'll discuss food trauma.